appreciate that. Thanks everybody for joining us. I'm really excited about today's session and today's guest because it's an issue that I'm really pressing into myself. You know how you can read the Bible for years and years and years, and you see a verse, and then one day it leaps out at you in a really fresh and powerful way. And it's like, this is the moment that you need to start paying attention to this passage of scripture. And I had that experience with the verse that says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And really, it's been within the last 5 to 10 years. We've got some people trying to get in the room over here, joining us on Zoom. But I would say the last 5 years, and I'm 61. I should have been thinking about it long ago, but I've really been pressing into this idea that one of the things that God says matters, that's actually really important to living a good and fulfilling life, is leaving some type of inheritance for your children's children. And that's why I was so excited when I met today's guest, Gigi Kinsey, because the fact of the matter is that as many as 90% of millionaires and billionaires, people who have generational wealth level, they got there with real estate. Not by starting a business, not by investing in the stock market. They got there through real estate. Well, how can you get started in real estate? What's kind of that, anybody, any one of us can dive in and get on that pathway to generational wealth. So I'm very, very excited to be bringing this message to you. And I'm especially excited by the person that God has chosen to bring this message in this hour in such a beautiful and powerful way. My guest today is Gigi Kinsey. She is the author of this brand new book, A Woman's Guide to House Flipping, Creating a Six-Figure Income Now and Generational Wealth for the Future. Your pathway to life-changing generational wealth, it starts with just one flip. Now, Gigi is a Christian wife, a mom, a grandmom. She's been an entrepreneur since the year 2000. She had her own interior design and remodeling company. She also partners with her husband in his plumbing company. And she has a real passion for empowering women to step into this generational wealth field of real estate. She's also a coach with the Women's Real Estate Investors Network. It is a privilege to welcome today Gigi Kinsey. Hi, Gigi.
Hi, thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm really excited about this book, and it's already #1 in multiple categories and climbing up the charts and doing incredibly well. I would really like to just hear from your heart how you developed this passion to help women quickly get on the fast track to what can become eventually generational wealth.
Well, so, I'm like anyone else. I have all kinds of facets of my life where things were going great and where things weren't. And I have been that woman that was in a bad situation. And had I known what I know now when I was in that situation, a young single mom, I just wonder what, I could have done with that. But it wasn't knowledge that was readily available. This wasn't something that was just out there. There were people doing it, but it was mostly men, and it was very secretive. It wasn't available. So I want to make sure if I can empower women to take charge of their lives, take responsibility 100% for their own success, their own happiness, their own spiritual walk with God. And this is one thing that I can do to help them do that. Well, then I want to make sure that they all get this information.
It's really tremendous. I love that even a woman, you're talking about that single woman out there. Maybe she doesn't even have a college degree. Maybe she doesn't have time to go back to school and get some credential and some certification. You are showing women a way to pretty quickly create a six-figure income. I mean, how quickly, we're going to dive into details, but I'm just trying to set the table and the expectations here for people. I mean, you pretty quickly made six figures at this. Was it less than 6 months, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. And the thing about this is that women don't have to have any prior experience to start this business or launch this career. They don't have to have certifications or licenses to do this. And you don't have to have a lot of capital. I have many friends in this that started with no money. But on the opposite side of that coin, you don't just make grocery money out of this. You go and make significant amounts of income in a very short amount of time, as long as you have the specialized knowledge and do it the right way, which that's why I wrote the book. So you can do that. You can actually start making six figures in as little as probably 4 months would be a pretty, 4 to 6 months would be about right to be able to get that first flip done and sold, and there you go. So that's why I want women to know about it.
It's absolutely incredible. And I don't think that there are many opportunities like this out there for women. And like you said, it has been in the past a male dominated field. Hey, everybody, if you're just tuning in, I'm Donna Porto, and so excited to be here with you today on the Lifestyle Freedom Show. And my guest is Gigi Kinsey. And I want to put everyone's mind at ease. What's different maybe about the Lifestyle Freedom Show is that typically when you're on Zoom, it's either somebody who's trying to make you work or somebody who's trying to sell you something. And we're not going to do either one of those things. There's nothing for sale today. In fact, not only is nothing for sale, we're giving stuff away. Stick around later in the program. I'm going to tell you about amazing prize package that Gigi is giving away, and an opportunity for 50 people to be part of a special event with Gigi. And anybody this week can go to houseflippingwomen.com, and the first thing you'll see on that page is a way that you can jump over to Amazon Kindle and you can get this book for free.
Yeah.
You can get it for free all this week on Amazon Kindle. So nothing's for sale. We are here to bless you, to equip you, to train you. Gigi, you are on a mission to empower women. I think you've already answered this question, but just recap it real quickly. Why, above all the other things that women can do to position themselves for what your subtitle says, a six-figure income now and generational wealth for the future, why is real estate investing the best?
Okay, so I love business. I have my own business. I love women in business. If you're passionate about a business and it can make you an income that you desire, I'm all about it. But for most women that are just trying to figure out where to go next and where can they make significant income, and they don't want to have to go back to school, or they don't want to have to go do an extensive training, go through licensing and get certified in anything, this is an opportunity because we have the education for this at your fingertips. There is a network in almost every town that revolves around real estate investing. There are so many people that will support you along the way, and you don't have to do it alone. But the thing is, once you get started, you can make significant income very, very quickly. And you are in charge. You're in charge of the deals that you do. You're in charge of your schedule. You're in charge of your time. And, you can make as little or as much money as you want to because you're going to be the one selecting the projects. That's what I love about this for women.
Yeah, I love that. You can set your own schedule. Of course, I don't have little ones at home anymore, but we may have some people who still have little ones at home. And you can work as many hours as you want or as little. You can really, it's up to you. If you want to be working this full time, then maybe you're doing more than one flip at a time, but you can set your own pace. And I love that. Do you want to tell us your story of how you got started in house flipping? I think that would be great. And then we're going to dive in at 8 steps for us. But why don't you tell us your story first?
All right. So I've owned a business since the year 2000, Kinsey Interiors and Remodels. So it's a turnkey remodel design firm, and I absolutely love it. I just love it. But life has little things it throws in there. So almost 11 years ago, in the middle of this business that was just growing, I was blessed with and surprised by a new baby. And my husband and I welcomed a new baby into the world December 2011. And my youngest child was 25 years old at the time.
Wow.
So I had to figure out, how can I get my life a little bit calmer and have more flexibility? Because now I'm a mom again. So I started turning over more and more of my day-to-day operations to my team to give me that flexibility with my son. And that's when I thought, flipping is what I need to be doing. And I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know, how do you get funding to do multiple jobs at a time? How do I find these good deals? Because they weren't on the MLS and I wasn't finding them there. How do I even know how much to pay for it or how much renovation to do to the project? And so after about 2 years of not finding those answers anywhere, I came across a masterclass from the Women's Real Estate Investors Network. And it was a 7-day class. It taught me the basics of real estate investing in residential. And a month later, I had my first property. And in that first 12 months, I flipped 4 houses from start to finish, meaning I started them and sold them. And I made well over $250,000 in net profit in the bank. And at the exact same time, I rehabbed 5 other properties that I didn't sell, that I held on to, and I put into my real estate portfolio. That all took place in 12 months.
That's unbelievable. And that'll be another, now we're going to have another book. Don't flip it, hold it, right?
That's right. That's right.
Your next
That's
book.
coming up.
That'll be your next book. That's where the real generational wealth is. But I know we were talking about the slogan for this book, and it starts with just one flip. You have to start somewhere. Yeah. And if you can get started with just one flip, then you're on your way. And Gigi just shared she did 4 flips in her first year and made $250,000. Where else can a woman go? And to jump into a brand new career that quickly, hit the ground running, and make that kind of, really, that's like starting to change your life money. You're on the pathway to it. Hey, for those that we do have a lot of people just jumping on, I'm Donna Parteau. I'm the host of the Lifestyle Freedom Show. And my guest today is Gigi Kinsey, and she's the author of this brand new, already #1 Amazon best-selling book, A Woman's Guide to House Flipping. It's creating a 6-figure income now and getting on that pathway to generational wealth for the future. She's giving away this book for free today. And you can go to houseflippingwomen.com, houseflippingwomen.com, and that will take you to, there's a link right there. It'll take you directly to Amazon, where you can get the Kindle copy for free. And she also has a prize for those of you who get a copy and post it, the paperback, and some other great giveaways. And we'll share more about those in a minute. But now, Gigi, why don't we jump in? You've got 8 steps. Let's just kind of give women an idea of what we're talking about here. So let's dive in. What's the first thing that they need to do?
Okay, well, so we do have 8 steps. There are many little steps inside of those, but this really breaks it down. And my first step is to learn and understand the golden formula. And the golden formula, ladies, is everything when it comes to being successful in real estate investing. And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. It is, you take the after repair value of a house. What is this house going to be worth after you fix it up? You find that out, and then you multiply by 0.70, and then you subtract everything it's going to take to repair that house. And that is what you buy that house for. Now, that sounds real quick and easy, but we have a whole chapter explaining how and why that golden formula works. And so step 1 is learning the golden formula. And step 2 is going to be,
I'm going to pause you there.
Yeah.
So you have a chapter on it. Do
Yeah.
you also have some other training on the golden formula?
It comes back into another chapter,
Okay.
Where we review it again. And then we do have some more training coming on the golden formula separately from the book.
Okay. And well, I think this might be a good time for you to talk about what you're going to do a 3-day event. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that real quick?
All right, so on November 13th, 14th, and 15th, I'll be doing a Flipping for Profits challenge, and it's going to cover, we're going to really review all 8 steps in this book in detail, where we can really break them down. And the golden formula will be one of my main topics, because that is so important. I want everyone to truly understand why and how it works. But we'll go through all 8 steps. We will be talking about how to get your business started quickly. We're going to even probably delve a little bit into what's coming up in the next book in this class. But it's a 3-evening class, free of charge. And if you go to House Flipping Women, my Facebook group, we'll have more details there, and there will be ways to sign up to get that info.
That's fantastic. And if people are watching this replay later on YouTube or Facebook, I'm sure they'll still be able to go to houseflippingwomen.com, and that will take them to the Facebook group, and they'll be able to catch those replay videos, I'm sure, right?
Yes. Yeah. It'll also be there.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So step 1, you got to understand this golden formula. She covers it in the book. She covers it in the free class. So you can get the deep dive on that. Okay. So what's number 2?
Number 2 is building your team. So you cannot do real estate investing and be a lone ranger. It's a relationship business. So I explain who needs to be on your team, that they don't need to be your employees, and who you need right up front, and then who you can be adding as your business grows, because you don't need all of them right away, but they're all very vital to have on your team.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. You give some really specific tips on, who do you need? Because, no one taught us this. There wasn't a class anywhere that we learned this. So yeah. I love the way you make it really accessible and simple. And these are the players. This is what they do. And even some tips on where you can find them. And of course, being in a community where you're networking, I think that that's really, really critical. Yeah. Okay, great. So we've got the golden formula, and then we're building ourselves a team. What do we got to do next?
Well, now you got to find some deals, right? You've got to go find some projects, some actual deals that you can take and make a profit on by flipping them. So I tell you where and how to find the deals. That would be your step number 3.
Okay, so we're going to find the deals.
Yep. And then in step 4, I teach you how to analyze those deals. You'll start getting a lot of opportunities, but each opportunity has to be analyzed to decide, is it truly a deal, and is it a deal you want? Is this one you're going to want to grab hold of? So number 4 is how to analyze all of the opportunities. And if it is a deal and you want that deal, number 5 is get it under contract. So if you've ever sold a personal home, you had to get a contract on it, right? To sell the house. So you're going to go get it under contract to purchase this property. And we go into how that happens.
Okay. So we got to get a contract. We're going to need a lawyer?
Well, it depends on the state. Most states, we just go through a title company. Okay. But there are some states that require title attorneys. So depending on where you live, you will go to a closing, and there will be paperwork done by the title company or attorney.
And that's why you need to have the team, which was step 2.
Yes, that's where your team is going to come into play. And then once you have it, now you own it. You own that property. So you need to get busy rehabbing this property. So step 6 is rehabbing and working with your general contractor. I'm going to really go into general contractors in this chapter. I want you to know how to work with them, how to find them. And I teach you how to create a scope of work, because I think it's very important that you understand how a rehab breaks down. That also keeps it from being overwhelming to you when you see how it breaks into different components, and how you build this scope of work, which is basically your instructions to your general contractor as to what you want to have done. And very important chapter.
You also have a free checklist, right? Tell us about the free checklist.
I do. So there are checklists in the book, right? So there's checklists in the book as you go along, but I do have a free checklist. If you go to houseflippingwomen.com, you can download this checklist that I use on every one of my rehabs so that I don't forget anything, because there can be many, many decisions to make depending on the size of that. So you want to get that checklist.
So it's really, I love that it's really, really comprehensive, everything that you could possibly need.
And I hope you don't need all of them on one flip. I hope that the flip isn't that huge when you first start, that you need every single one of those. But I also don't want you to forget any of the necessary things. And then at the end of the job, realize you missed about $1,000 worth of fixtures that you should have budgeted for at the beginning. So this is all done at the beginning. So.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And we've got 2 more steps to go.
Step number 7 is most people's favorite. That is design and selection. And so as a designer, I love this portion of flipping, that we get to design the project and select all the paint colors and the finishes on our plumbing and lighting fixtures. What color doorknobs do we want to have in the house? All of those kinds of things, choosing tile and flooring, all of that comes into step number 7. And then step number 8 is selling the house. Really, the most important thing is selling it so that you can recoup all those profits. So do you need to hire a real estate agent to sell this house, or do you just do this on your own? Do you need to stage the house, or do you sell it just, clean and empty? Does the general contractor need to come back at the very end and do anything, or is his work done? I answer all of those questions in step 6. And the hint is, yes, you do need to stage the house. And yes, you will need to list it with a real estate agent if you haven't been able to sell it before it's ready to go on the MLS, because sometimes you can do that as well.
And Gigi, did you tell us where we're going to get the money to do this? Do we have to have our own money? Do we need to sell our car so that we have the cash, or where do we?
Yeah. So in the book, we do discuss using other people's money.
I want to hear about that, so I can get other people's money and have fun decorating a house. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I used other people's money to get this done, to get started. And so we talk about hard money lenders in the book. Those are lenders that really specialize. They only lend to real estate investors. And ladies, they lend based on the value of the asset, of the property. They do not lend based on your credit. They don't lend based on your W-2. They lend based on the value of the property. There are other lenders too. They're called private money lenders. These are other people that don't want their money just sitting in an IRA earning almost nothing. They can take that money or out of their savings account, and they can invest with real estate investors, and they make higher returns on that money. And so they lend it over and over and over to real estate investors. So there is money out there where people can make money off of your hard work, and yet it also funds your project, so you can also make a lot of money. And so it's a win-win situation.
That's the kind of thing that, who knows that? Now that you say it, it makes complete sense.
Right.
Why would someone want to be making 1% when the inflation rate is through the roof? They've got money. They want it to work for them. They don't want to do the work. They got money. You do the work.
Yeah.
They make their profit. You make their profit. Everyone wins. I think that was really powerful what you said, that the loan is based on the value of the property. So it brings us back to number 1, the most important part in this whole journey to house flipping, to making a 6-figure income pretty quickly and getting yourself on the pathway to generational wealth. That's what really excites me, is the generational wealth. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And I think it's true of a good woman as well. So it all brings us back to number 1, which is knowing that golden formula. And that's why I think that everybody should go to houseflippingwomen.com right now. If you're joining us live, you can get the Kindle edition free. If you're watching the replay, it's going to set you back $5. Or I would highly recommend the paperback because there's a lot of checklist charts. It's really handy to have. You can get the paperback, you can get the Kindle edition, and be sure to check out Gigi's 3-day flipping for profits training. It's free, and I know she's going to do a deeper dive on even deeper than the book. And will there be like Q&A? Will they be able to ask you questions?
Yeah, so we're going to set this up. We originally thought we'd do a different way of doing it, but we're going to do a Zoom because I'm more comfortable on Zoom. I coach on Zoom every week, so I decided to do that. That makes it possible for me to stop and read the chats and see what questions are coming in, and for people to raise their hands and I can address. So as time allows, each evening I will take question and answers. And I will also check the chats, and if I need to go back the next evening and address some of the questions, I'll do it that way.
Okay, that sounds amazing. And the other thing that I wanted to mention for those of us joining us live, Gigi, you have a gift package for the first 50 people, a contest, the first 50 people who post their picture holding up a copy of the paperback book. Do you want to take a minute? Because I want to win.
Okay.
I just took my picture and posted it. Tell us about the prize package.
Okay, so we are doing, if you, like she said, if you have the book, take your beautiful face, take a selfie, post it, and tag Gigi, Strain, Kinsey, or House Flipping Women. And when you do that, we will enter you into a drawing. The first 50 women that join will win a 1 hour, 1.5 hour, whatever it takes is private Zoom with me. And it will be all question and answer, and I'll be sharing some specific topics to that group. Now, the drawing, top place will be whoever wins the drawing is going to have a 1 hour private coaching class with me where we can really see where you're at and how can we get you into this business quickly and successfully. And we will really focus on your situation. I will help you do that. So they will also win, whoever wins that is going to get a Joey James, the label leather handbag. And it could be any bag that she produces, but we have a business bag that is absolutely gorgeous that I would love to give to you. And so we already had one of these contests, and we have a winner there. And so we are doing another one. We're drawing it on November 21st. So that's when we will make that final drawing.
Well, I want to win. I'm praying like, God.
All I can tell you is good luck, girl.
I want to win.
I'm gonna get in trouble if you win, Donna. It might look a little shady. I don't know.
I know. That's why you have to use the wheel of names.
Okay.
So that everybody can watch, because I'm gonna win. I'm like, Jesus, I want to win. I want to win. Okay. But you've already had some women who've won in a big way. Why don't you tell us some of those success stories, just to get ladies inspired?
Oh, yes, my favorite part of the whole book are the case studies. I have one case study at the end of each chapter. And these are women in real estate investing that live all over the country. So I wasn't able to put 50 case studies in there, one for each state, but we have them all over the country. I'm going to tell you about one woman. Her name is Sarah. She is a single mom in, of all places, California, where you know what real estate prices are like there. So she was in California and she purchased what she told me was a disaster of a house, a mid-century modern home. She bought it for a little over $1 million. Okay. So that sounds very scary, but she used the golden formula to make this decision. She bought this house. She spent almost a year rehabbing it, turning it into this gorgeous modern house. She actually sold that house without listing it with a real estate agent. Someone from Hawaii had come into California and saw it and went in and bought the house from her. And she sold it for over 1.8 million. And she netted, her net profit was a little over 300,000. So in 1 year, this single mom earns over $300,000 working on this one project. That is impactful money.
Yeah.
That is significant income for a mother of 2 children. But let me tell you about on the other side of the country. So on the East Coast, Northern Maine, one of my favorite ladies, her name is Wendy. She was a stay-at-home mom, a homeschool mom that got into real estate investing as, when her kids were leaving home. And so she bought this little house for $37,000. Okay, $37,000, Northern Maine, right when winter started. Horrible winters up there. She got this whole house rehabbed and ready to put on the MLS, appointment made with the realtor, and they had a frost heave. I am from Texas, Central Texas. We don't have frost heaves. I don't even know, but it evidently shifted that whole house. And she and her husband spent 14 hours working straight to get every single thing repaired so that they could get it listed on time and get it on the market. And she still managed, even with the extra cost and repairs, she still managed to make $22,000 on a $37,000 purchase. So guys, if these women can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. It doesn't matter if you live in the $1 million sector in California or the $30,000, $40,000, section of Northern Maine, or somewhere in between. The golden formula will make it all come together. So it's doable, and you can be highly successful at this.
Those are beautiful examples, because you've got both sides of the country. You've got something that seems affordable and something that seems impossible, but in both cases they probably used other people's money anyway, right?
Absolutely. But do you think that single mom in California just happened to have $1 million sitting around? No, she went and got a hard money loan or a private money loan, and she did the work, sold it, paid off the loans and all her debts, as well as all the other fees that come out. And when I tell you in the book that someone had a net profit of, that literally means every other thing was paid. Their insurance, the property tax, the utilities that have to be on through that rehab, all of these other fees that are happening, those are your carrying costs. But I always give net profit. I do not give the gross profit.
Right, because that's not really a meaningful number.
Doesn't mean anything.
How much are you walking away with? One thing that's really obvious, Gigi, is that people would need coaching through this. Mm-hmm. So can you just tell us, I know that you actually are a coach. Can you tell us a little bit, what does that look like for a woman to get the support and the coaching? Just tell us a tiny bit about that.
Well, I will just tell you, first of all, I fell in love with coaching. I started coaching for the REIN over a year ago. Never knew how much I would love working with all these ladies. We have over 3,000 women in our coaching program, and walking with them through their flips is amazing. But I'm going to tell you how it was for me, because after all, I should know, right? How to flip a house. I've been remodeling houses for all these years. But what I didn't know were the little subtle decisions that needed to be made. And so I went to my coaches when I was new in that program, and I would say things like, I think I need to add more square footage to this house. Can I convert the garage? If I do that, what impact does that have on selling it? What impact does it have on my appraisal? And they taught me how to analyze that very specific situation and make my own decision. I remember thinking, the market's doing well. I don't need to spend money on staging. And they were like, if you stage, you will get higher offers and more offers. So go stage. And I did, and I did, and I did. They walked me through the individual questions that you can't foresee because every home is different, right? So even though I knew rehab, I didn't know real estate investing. So I am able to go in there, and we have coaches that teach the investment part in detail. I get to coach them through the design, through the flipping, through the working it out with subcontractors, general contractors, estimating the repairs, something I couldn't go into in the book. It was beyond the scope of the book. I teach estimating your repairs, so you know how to fill that into the golden formula.
Yeah, this is really a big opportunity. And I know we talked earlier about the vision. By the way, for those of you, we do have a lot of people jumping on as we go. I am Donna Parteau, and I'm the host of the Lifestyle Freedom Show. My guest today is Gigi Kinsey. She's the author of this incredible, already Amazon #1 best-selling book, A Woman's Guide to House Flipping, Creating a Six-Figure Income Now and Generational Wealth for the Future. And you can learn more about Gigi and all that she has to offer at houseflippingwomen.com. You can hashtag houseflippingwomen on Facebook, and you can find her through that hashtag as well. But this really is bigger than flipping houses. There's a lot more at stake here. And I know that you, like me, see this as a movement. I just want to share real briefly, those who know me, most people know me from my book, Becoming the Woman God Wants Me to Be, which is a 90-day guide to living the Proverbs 31 life. And in that book, there's just, there's 1 week out of the 90-day journey that we focus on real estate, because the Bible tells us a lot about God's ideal woman. But one of the things it tells us is that she considers a field and buys it. She's a real estate agent. If you've seen the cover of my book, it's a woman walking through a field. And the other thing it says is she sees to it that her trading is profitable. So clearly, God's ideal is a woman who can consider a field, do a proper analysis. It doesn't mention the golden formula, but it sure lines up with scripture. Consider it. Make sure you count the cost. The Bible talks about that in the New Testament. Before you build a tower, you better find out you got the money, you got the materials, really being methodical about this, being wise. The Bible says, be as wise as serpents, innocent as doves. I think Christians tend to be very good at the innocent as doves part, maybe not so much as the wise as serpents. So this, Gigi is imparting a lot of wisdom, and this really is about more than just flipping houses. This is about really a clarion call for God's women to step into that place where we are wise and we are well and we are wealthy. The Bible talks so much about how wisdom and wealth are connected. And Gigi, I would just love to hear from your heart. I've just been doing a study in the morning about how often wisdom and wealth, wisdom and wealth, wisdom and wealth. Maybe just share a little bit about what your vision is, how I know you're passionate. You see this as really something specifically for Christian women stepping into their roles as Proverbs 31 women today.
Yeah, I mean, Proverbs, like you said, it says that they see to it that their trading is profitable. And this is, the Proverbs 31 woman is doing everything, right? She is just like almost, you cannot touch her level. But I believe she didn't do it all at one time. There were different seasons in her life where she did these various things. And God, he was so the scriptures are so proud of the fact that she was able to consider a field and buy it, that she was able to see that her trading was profitable. Her husband was proud of her. So regardless of what our situation is, whether we're married or not married, have children or don't have children, the only person who can be responsible for our lives, whether it's our financial health, our physical health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, guys, it's us. We are 100% responsible for that. And so I believe that by educating women, handing it out to them on a silver platter, this introduction to all the first stepping stones that you need to start this business, I'm passionate about that because I wish someone had given that to me a few years ago. Like 10, 15 years ago, but now I have it. So why not share that? I see Christian women being able to actually create a lot of income, but being able to wisely use that income to further God's kingdom. To see to it that the disciple-making work is going on around the earth, to see to it that in our local communities, we can use our money to take care of those in need, that we constantly are doing things that would, bring glory to God himself, through our money. It is not so that I can or you can drive big fancy cars and live in big fancy houses. It's what impact on this world can we as a group of Christian women make? Because as a group, Christian women can have huge impact, not only here in the United States, but all over the world. And if we use our finances to say what we want to see and what we want to happen, I can only imagine how that could just continue to grow.
Amen. The Bible says so much about, again, how diligence and wisdom are created to a life that prospers. So on that topic of wisdom, could we do like, how about this idea? Maybe we could just watch a few episodes of HGTV and, that would be it. We'd be good, right?
Well, I have a love-hate relationship with HGTV. So I'll tell you what I don't like about the flipping shows, design shows on there, the flipping shows, I should say. They take a 3 to 12 month process, right? And then of course they have to condense it down to a 30-minute or 60-minute show. And so I'm not here to tell you that flipping is always easy. It is not always easy. You have to be willing to do the hard work and work through the challenges and the problems. But they don't show you very much of that. They have to get it down into an entertaining show that has high ratings. One of the ways they do that is by having these amazing designs, gorgeous use of color, fantastic pattern tiles, and just really all out in very specific themes that they use. But the reality of flipping is we want our homes to appeal to a mass audience, right? We don't want to make it make our audience too small. We're not going to paint a wall orange because we like orange. We would know that the majority of people are not attracted to that color, so we wouldn't use that in our flip. We're going to stay more neutral. We're not going to do wildly patterned tiles because many people would walk in and go, "Ooh, but I don't like that, so I'm going to go to the house down the street." Not to say that we don't make our homes beautiful, we do, but we have to learn how to do that and how to have our wow factors. And HGTV shows a different way of doing that actually isn't that effective in the real world. So that's my negative about them. The other problem is they often show the gross profit. They say, I bought this house for this much. We spent this much on rehab. If we sell it for this amount, we stand to make this much. They don't put in all the other carrying costs that come along. And so I want my book to always say net profit and explain exactly how you should ready the house to appeal to the widest audience. But what I love about these shows is it gets the word out. This is a viable career choice. It is possible. You'll see on HGTV, they're doing it in California, they're doing it up north, they're doing it in Texas, they're doing it in Florida. So, it's across the country. And I think that helps people to get excited about real estate. And who doesn't just enjoy a good entertaining show anyway, to just watch, see what the possibilities of this rundown, torn up, tired house, what it actually can look like, because that's the exciting part of flipping for me. Taking something that's so ugly or so worn out and making it look beautiful for a family today to move into and, just have a lovely home out of it.
Yeah, you're creating a lovely home for someone. So that's really encouraging. So we can watch HGTV to get inspired, but we're probably not going to get a whole lot of wisdom on HGTV. So if you want wisdom in how to do this, check out houseflippingwomen.com, houseflippingwomen.com. And that's where you'll get a wealth of wisdom and insight and information from Gigi. Be sure to get a copy of her book. You'll find a link to that. You'll find a link to her Facebook group for House Flipping Women, where you can get ongoing support. She's got a free gift there, her checklist. Keep that handy on every flip. We're going to have the replay of this interview available there at houseflippingwomen.com as well. Also, for those of you who are joining us live, you can get all the information about her giveaway. Do you want to talk real quickly, just one more time, Gigi, as we come to the top of the hour, about what you have available right now, the giveaway, the house flipping for profits, boot camp, all that you have available? Do you want to just update us real quick on that before we come to the end of our
Sure.
time?
Yes. Okay. So one place you can go is gift.houseflippingwomen.com. And when you do that, you can download a free gift from me. It's a checklist that I use on every job. At the same time you do that, you will get on my email list so that I can send you educational tips and tricks, but also let you know like the masterclass that is coming up or other opportunities that will be coming along for you, as well as just some encouragement throughout the weeks with your new endeavor. That is one thing you can do. The other is when you do get on there for the gift, you will also see an invitation to the Women's Real Estate Investors Network masterclass. It's a 7-day masterclass for $17. This is where I coach. I highly recommend it to anyone to get an overview of residential real estate investing. I have a drawing coming up for anyone who holds the book up and takes a selfie and tags me on Facebook. I will put you in the drawing. 50 women will get an hour to an hour and a half private coaching session with me. And the winner of the drawing will win a private coaching session, as well as a beautiful Joey James, the label handbag. So those are coming up. And then of course we have the 3-day Flipping for Profits challenge, where I will be going in depth into the 8 steps in this book and explaining the golden formula to you. And I think that's it for right now. Oh, and can we say about the free Kindle? Have we announced that?
Absolutely. If you are joining us live the first week of November, you can get the Kindle version for free all this week. If you go to houseflippingwomen.com, houseflippingwomen.com, you'll see the first thing on there is a link to Amazon where you can get a copy of the book. You can also go to donnaparteau.com/house. donnaparteau.com/house. All roads will lead you to Amazon. And this week only, you can get a copy of the Kindle for free. So lots of great stuff, lots of free giveaways. And I definitely want to win that bag and that free consult with you. That sounds absolutely incredible. Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. My guest has been Gigi Kinsey, the author of A Woman's Guide to House Flipping. And it's all about creating a 6-figure income now, like in as little as 4 to 6 months, and generational wealth for the future. Gigi, thanks so much. It's been